We have spoken many times in this shiur about the names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu represent midot. For example, when God is acting in a kind way to us, so then a certain name is used, the name of kindness, Yud-Kei-Vav-Kei. When there's judgment, so then the name Elohim is used. The name of God is very important to know because you can understand then the context of a pasuk or of an event based on the name of God that's being used. There was a great rabbi called Rabbi Eli. He talks about the name of God, Shin and a Dalet and a Yud. We don't say it because it's a holy name, they say Shakai. It's really a Dalet, but they substitute with a Kof so you can say it. Like we say Elohim, so they say Shakai. You see that name on the mezuzah. For example, when you're entering and exiting, the name is exposed on the outside. When we put our hands on the mezuzah, we kiss it. So special is that name, says Rabbi Eli, that every man has this name imprinted on his body. Now you look at a person, you say, I don't see it, I don't see any Shem. It's not plastered on his forehead. But he said that if a person lifts his hands up like this, it's a Shin, and if a person puts his right hand out when he's standing, he looks like a Dalet. And at the time of the Brit Milah, however, that reveals the letter Yud. Without going into details how that works, but if you look at some of the Sidurim, under the Brit Milah section, it says that the Mohel Shel HaKavanah, at the time of the Brit Milah, it revealed the final letter of God's holy name, Shakai, and now the Shem is complete. But he doesn't explain why. Why does a person need that Shem on his body? Out of all the names, there is an amazing, it's fascinating Kli Yakar. Kli Yakar is one of the Mefashim of the Torah. I had the merit when I was in Prague to go to the kever of the Kli Yakar. He's buried just a few steps away from the Maharal. The Kli Yakar says like this: the Shem Shakai is introduced to us in the Gemara Hagigah. You see over there the Gemara says when God created the world, for example the heavens, so it says they were expanding. And they were expanding and expanding. Like we have the heavens today, they're very, very broad, very wide. And they kept on expanding and going, and God wanted them to stop. So God told the Shamayim, die. Enough. If he didn't tell them die, they just would have kept on expanding. So the word Shakai, the Gemara says, stands for She'amar le'olamo dai. That this is the God that told his world, enough. You have to stop. The Gemara said the same thing happened to the earth. The earth was created and it was just continuing to expand and expand and expand. That's why the rabbis say we call the earth Eretz. Eretz, the last letters are Ratz, because it was running. It was keep on going. And then God told the earth, die. She'aman olamo die. And not only that, it says in Gemara that the oceans were expanding as well. And there was a danger that the whole world would just be filled with water. So God had to tell the oceans as well, stop. That's the usage of Shem Shakai. when something is expanding to no end, so that Shem has the ability to stop it. I know this is not a class in mathematics, but I must just tell you this in parentheses, so you see how great our Torah is. The holy name Shem Shakai actually reveals to us one of the secrets behind the circumference of a circle. You see, if we want to measure something, it's very easy for us to measure straight lines. I take a ruler, I measure it 2 inches, 10 inches, a foot, 2 feet. These are the straight lines, they're easy to measure. But how do I measure curves? The ruler doesn't curve. We have a straight ruler. How do you measure the size of a curve? Well, better, which is a big mathematical question, how do you measure the circumference of a circle? So the Greeks came along, at least they think they came along, and they gave us a mathematical interpretation, a formula, using what they called pi. Pi is the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet. Without getting into details, let's say for argument's sake, pi equals the number 3. It's 3 and change, but I don't want to get into the change. Let's say it equals 3. So they said the way you calculate the circumference of a circle is you take its diameter. Let's say the diameter, you draw a line across the circle, is 10. So therefore you do the diameter times pi. So 10 times 3, so the circumference is 30. By the way, this is not the Greeks, it's written in Melachim. If you open up the prophets, when King Solomon was building the Beit HaMikdash, it says he built a pool. The pool was round. And it says clearly, the diameter was 10, and the circumference was 30. So it's clearly that already from the times of the Nevi'im, they knew this formula. They knew exactly this ratio between diameter and circumference. But interesting, if you look in the Navi, when it talks about the circle, that was 30, it says it was a kav. Kav is a line. If you draw the line, a circular line, let's say. Kav is a line, it's spelled kuf vav. That's how we pronounce it, kav. But if you look at the Navi, it's written kuf vav he. But the he we don't pay attention, we don't read it kavah. It's one of those words that are written one way and we read it a different way. It's funny that they chose that word to add a letter that's silent. There was a great rabbi called Rabbi Eli Mansour that he said, because it's really not 30, because pi really is 3.14 and change. So when they said 30, it's rounded. So it's kav with a remainder. That's why there's an extra letter there. To hint to you that it's not exactly the kav, it's kav remainder, whatever. It was to tell you that don't think we didn't know the accuracy of pi. The Navi just giving you 30, but we know it's 30 plus. So put the silent A over there to tell you there's a remainder. The Gaon of Vilna, he took it a step further. He said, if you take kav, kav is 106, kuvav. And if you take kuvav, he, it's 111. And if you take pi, which is 3 times 106 by 111 is exactly 3.14, which is the exact number of pi. So therefore, in the Navi itself, in that one word kav and kavah, it gives you the precision of what the mathematicians are telling you today. I just tell you that to get you excited, that nobody should think now Torah is archaic or old-fashioned or regressive. You don't have to go to Harvard to learn about this mathematical interpretation. I want to go a step further with you. Even though this is not the class, but this I just thought is a very important tidbit to talk about for a second at least. What happens after 3.14? It keeps on going. The calculation of pi never ends. Today, in China, they already have 5 trillion numbers. 3.1426. But you don't need to know all those numbers because it's not important. When you're building something, it's enough to know it's 30 and 30. You don't need to know that, but it's an endless, you see, after a certain point you have to say, okay, that's it, how far you want to go? You want to go 5 trillion numbers, you make yourself crazy. So you 3.14, that's it. That's very good. That's why the numerical value of Shaddai is Shin Daled Yud 314, which is exactly 3.14, which is, because that's hinting to us 5, because 5 will never end. So you have to say to a certain point, limited. So therefore it's 314. Incidentally, always before the name Shakai, there's another name of God that's mentioned. Ken Shakai. Now Ken, N, Aleph Lamed, is how much? 31. That's 3.1. So first it's 3.1, and then it's 3.14. You see how it expands. Now, one of the times in the Torah where you see the name of Shakai is by Parashat Va'era. When it says in Parashat Va'era, it says, Va'era el Abraham, Yitzhak v'Yaakov, and I appeared to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov be'el Shaddai. Well, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov is 3. So it's 3, and then El is 3.1, and then Shakai is 3.14. So you see the progression of the 5. But you see the concept that God says, L'olamo, dying. Even in mathematics, even though you can go to infinity, at a certain point you have to just stop it. There's much more to say on that topic, but the question that the Kli Yakar has is, so now I understand the name of God, Shakai, what it does. It's restrictive. It causes things from expanding outside of their borders. But why does man need this name on his body? As a matter of fact, when the men wear tefillin in the morning, they're also connecting themselves to this holy name. If you look on the box of the tefillin, on the shel-rosh, there's sheens. This Faradim, the way we wear the shel-rosh, on the back there's a knot. The knot is the letter Dalet. It's exactly in the shape of the letter Dalet. The Ashkenazim, they have a square, but the square actually is 2 Dalets. It's the same concept. It's a Dalet. We have 1 Dalet, we have 2 Dalets. And then on the Shem Yad, you'll see there's a little leather knot, and it's exactly in the shape of a Yud. So it's interesting. We wear the Shem Shakai, not only it's on our body, but we wear it when we leave the house in the morning. We kiss the mezuzah that has that Shem. It seems something about human beings, they need to be connected, men more than women, but to be connected to this holy name. So the Kli Yakar offers us a mystery, a secret he reveals to us. Now I'm going to tell you the secret today. He writes, Teva Hamolid Benolad. The nature of the producer is in the product. A parent that has certain traits, so those traits will become in the children. The child has a light complexion and blue eyes and a certain feature. So his father has the same features. Okay, then we know where it came from. Teva Hamoli Benolad. We understand that, what we call it, genetics, chromosome, however you want to understand it. But we know that to be true. The child takes on the nature of his origin. What are the ingredients of man? What are we made up of? Water. So that's very good, you're absolutely right. But before water, what was the first ingredient? Afar. Let's read simple what the Bible says. Torah says God took Afar, he took the Hades, the earth, and he molded it into clay, like a mold. But you can't mold dirt unless you add water to it. So God added water to it. Now you have a mold, but there was no spirituality. So God had to add an element of shamayim, of divineness. So the 3 elements of mankind are Eres and Yam. Yam is water from the oceans, and shamayim, and the divineness. That's why we call a man Ish. Ish is Rashi Tevot. Eres, Yam, shamayim. In order to hint us the 3 elements of man. However, what do we know about these three elements. They all have a nature that they want to expand. They want to keep on going outside of their natural borders. They want no restrictions. They don't want to be inhibited. And therefore, since we're made up of those three elements, that's the nature of mankind. Humans don't want to have any rules. They don't want to have any borders. The nature of a human being, if you just leave him to be as he is, he wants to break all the restrictions. He wants to have, in Hebrew they call it hefkerut. Hefkerut is lawlessness. He doesn't want to be told when to wake up, and what to eat, and what he can say, and where he can go. He wants to do anything he wants. He wants to be free. He doesn't want to be confined to a certain order. He doesn't want to live in a certain framework where there's boundaries that tell him you can't go past this. And if you know people like that, don't be shocked. That's normal. Because where the person comes from, that has the same nature. If you look at his parents, the Eres and the Yam and the Shamayim, until God told them die, they were also going wild. And that's why he says, God has to put the Shem Shakai on a person. Because if we didn't have a connection to that holy name, we would not have a chance. The human being would just go so far out of bounds. He would be so unbridled and uncontained. It would be like a loose animal. So that Shem, just like it was needed for the original three, is needed to be connected to man himself. Which means that's the name of God that keeps our evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara, in check. If the Yetzer Hara did not have that Shem against it, then there would be just a total breakdown. A human being doesn't know his limits, like a child. They don't know their limits. They just press as far as they can go until they get hit. A human being also has the Yetzer Hara, and he has these elements that drive him towards that type of life, just to go, to push it, to go further, to the next level. That Shem Shakai says, enough, slow down. It restricts the Yetzer that will not take the person out of this world. That's why. I want to tell you what the Rabbi Eli says, a simple kavanah that you could all have. The things I'm telling you are suitable for all ages. You don't have to say, oh, I'm not a mikubal, so therefore, this is not for me. This is for everybody. When you put your hand on the mezuzah in the morning, and you kiss the mezuzah, you should have a simple kavanah. What's the kavanah? So he says, you're praying to God that He should save you from the Yetzer Hara. You should be protected from the Yetzer. He says, if you take the word Yetzer, Yetzer is spelled Yud, and it's heavy, and Resh, easy word. Now let's take the first letter Yud. How do you spell Yud? Yud, Vav, Dalet. Let's not make it confusing. Let's just take the last letter of Yud. What's the last letter of Yud? Dalet. Okay, write the Dalet on your paper. The next letter is Tzadi. Tzadi is Tzadi, Dalet, Yud. Let's take the last letter. It's Yud. And then Resh. Resh is Resh, Yud, Shin. Let's take the last letter. Shin. The last letters of Yetzer is the Shem Shakai. And he says, when you put your hand on the mezuzah in the morning and you see Shem Shakai, you have to say that you want the name of Shakai to go into your Yetzer. Because it's in the Yetzer. You just need to activate it. If you don't activate the Shem Shakai, the Yetzer Hara will just push you so far to do the unimaginable. So the kavanah is that the Shem Shakai that's in the Yetzer should give you the ability to know dying, to know your limitations. This is a great kavanah. Shaman Olamodai. This is also a Hidush that I'm going to say now. You always see in the Torah, you see that when the Torah wants to bless us, for example, when we're doing the mitzvot and the Torah, what's the reward that the Torah always says? Torah says God's going to give us the rain. V'natati b'shmechem b'ritam. God says, I'm going to give you the rain. Even in Kriyat Shema that you say every day. It says, V'ayayim shemot tishme'u. And if you will abide to the word of God. Then it says, V'asafta b'ganecha. And you'll reap the crop. And it says, V'natati aseh b'sadecham. Yoreh u'malkosh. And I will give you Yoreh u'malkosh. These are two types of rain. Which means the beracha is rain. And when God forbid somebody doesn't listen to the Torah, what does it say in the Torah? Ve'atzar et hashamayim ve'lo yigematam. Why is that the default reward for observance? Why is it always in the rain? So I'll explain to you what the Achayamim say. Because what is the ingredients, or what is the cycle, I should say, of rain? Rain has 3 cycles. The rain starts from the Yam. And then what happens? It goes up to the Shamayim and becomes a cloud. And then the wind blows it and it lands on the Aris. So those are the 3 cycles in rain. It's Yam, it's Shamayim, and Aris. And therefore when a person acts in control of those 3 elements, when he doesn't let these 3 elements cause him to go out of their limitation, so God rewards the person midah keneged midah, and he brings Geshem, which also has these 3. But God forbid, if you abuse the Eretz, Yam, Shamayim ingredient, then God says those 3 will not come together to produce the necessary rains. That's a midah keneged midah, actually. It's a measure for measure. This is important on its own right. To know how necessary it is to be under the influence of this holy name, Shem Shakai. Somebody asked me the following question. They said, "Look, Rabbi, it's not working anymore. You're telling me we have the Shem Shakai, but look at the world. The world is so corrupt and has become so loose and so promiscuous and provocative and degenerate. There's no boundaries anymore in the world. There's no limitations. Well, what happened in our generation? Maybe this worked 1,000 years ago. Maybe this worked in our grandparents' time. But why isn't this Shem influencing us today?" He even asked a stronger question. He said, and even if you want to tell me what's happening to the woman, whereas if man had a Yetzer Hara, we understand. But women were usually more modest, more private, more... What's happening to the girls today? Yetzer Hara that we only found by men, now all of a sudden we're finding it by girls. There's like something in the water. There's something wrong here. But I'm getting into the details, but we see today the younger generation, even in the girls that normally do not have this Yetzer Hara, it's showing itself. The truth is, when they asked me the question, I surrendered. I didn't have an answer. I said, I don't know. This is a good question. I have to go to the books and analyze it. I'd like the courtesy to come back to you and say an answer. So I didn't see him yet, but I'm going to tell you the answer. After much research, this will explain to you what's going on in our generation. The Gemara says, it's a Mishnah, at the end of the tractate Sotah. There the Mishnah is talking about an incredible time. It's called Ekvetan de Mashiach. It's the generation of the footsteps of Mashiach. The footsteps of Mashiach means the generation where you could hear the pitter patter of the steps of Mashiach, meaning he's imminent. So it tells us what the generation is going to look like. It gives you telltale signs. If you see these signs, you know you're looking at the generation of Mashiach. Now, before I tell you what one of the signs are, I think it's clear, there's a clear consensus amongst all the tzaddikim that this is the generation. And I would bet that all of us are going to be alive to see it. This is not something we're doing 100 years from now. Our belief is that he can come today. He can't come tomorrow because it's Erev Shabbat. He doesn't come Erev Shabbat. We don't believe that he can come on Shabbat, nor can he come on Shabbat itself, because he's Shabbat is no Eruv, he can't carry. And then you have Sunday. But the point is he can come any day. It's imminent. So the Gemara says, what's going to look like? What's the generation going to look like? So the Gemara says two words. Chutzpah, Yasgeh. There's going to be an increase in chutzpah. I don't think I have to define the word chutzpah to you. This is a word that has become universal language. If you look even in your English dictionaries, the word chutzpah is there. Yeah, it became a universal word. As a matter of fact, this word chutzpah has been accepted in legal arguments of judges in 231 times in cases the judge has used this word to explain, even though we have words, brazenness, gall, audacity, but this word is the epitome of it. So the Gemara says, when you reach a generation where you see the increasing of chutzpah, then you know, pack your bags. Then you know Mashiach's right around the corner. Where do you see this chutzpah? Well, it depends who you ask, but it's all over the place. The former CEO of Microsoft, Steve Jobs, and one of the fellows that worked for him, Chinese guy, I think his name was Kawasaki, like the motorcycle. And they asked him, what do you call chutzpah? He says, chutzpah is when somebody calls technical support to report a bug on a program that he pirated. Because he stole the program, he's calling up to complain that it doesn't work. No, it's fine, you stole it, you're calling up to complain. So from his perspective, this is brazenness. What are you calling up? You can complain if you stole it? להבדיל בין הטמא לטהור. When they asked the great Rosh Yeshiva of Gedal Yeshua, there's a what's the explanation? Chutzpah Yasgeh. Where do you see Chutzpah Yasgeh, the increase of Chutzpah? He would point to the United Nations building. He said, once they built that structure where all the Goyim come along and gather in great Chutzpah and vilify the Jewish people, and make resolutions against. Who's making a resolution against us? The biggest crooks, the biggest criminals, the biggest terrorists, and they stand up from the pulpit and they give us musar. And they're telling us, right from wrong. And these are the people that are the most despotic, criminals in the world. Is there a greater chutzpah than this? Who would listen to the president of Congo? Nobody would listen to him. But he comes to the United Nations, they give him the pulpit, he gets to make he gets to read Megillat Echa from the pulpit. This is a chutzpah. And he gets his 15 minutes of fame to vilify the Jewish people. Most of the resolutions of the United Nations against Israel. This is not chutzpah. Free democracy, honorable people, decent people. And who's convicting us? The biggest Pashayim that are killing their people and starving their people and the civil wars in their country. They're telling us that we're wrong. This is what Rabbi Eli Mansour said. Once they built the United Nations, finish, back in the bags, Mashiach's coming. But it's not limited to the building of the United Nations. The chutzpah today is in many, many, many areas. The crimes that are being committed today are with such audacity. Shameless crimes. There was always crime. Crime has been around since Cain and Hevel. Cain killed Hevel. Crime is not something new. But when two brothers fight, it's the wrong. It's criminal, but you understand it. He was jealous, so he couldn't control his measure. When somebody steals something, it's wrong, but you understand it. He wants money. When somebody commits a crime of lust and passion, he couldn't control his desire. But when somebody goes into a school and just shoots innocent children, then you can't understand it. It's brazen. What's the understanding? What is he benefiting? What are you gaining? This is a chutzpah she'en kedugmato. When somebody puts a bomb to kill innocent people that are running a marathon, what do people do? They're doing nothing. You don't even know the people that you're killing, that you're maiming. Just to blow off somebody randomly, to blow his leg off, that he should never be able to walk again. What's the logic? Did that person ever do anything to you? You don't even know who the person is. You don't even know who you're intending to hurt. What a chutzpah. The acts of violence today are chutzpah yasker. This is not where two people are on the battlefield fighting with each other in war. War we understand. But these people running in a marathon are not combatants. They're not armed, they don't have weapons, nor are they hurting anyone. So just to go and kill them just like that, to maim them, they should be deaf for the rest of their life, they should be handicapped for what purpose? What's the benefit? This is chutzpah yasker, even in the level of violence. The chutzpah manifests itself in other places as well. The speech, the way the youth, the talk today, the way the youth talks to the elders, the way they talk to their teachers and to their rabbis. Words that we would never think, me, I'm not 10 generations ago, that I would never talk to my rabbi like this. And but today's generation, I could show you my cell phone, my machine, and I'm embarrassed. And I could show you, somebody sent me a text the other day. It says on the text, SUP. S-U-P. I thought I knew all the shit they wrote. OMG, they told me what it is. LOL, they told me what it is. Now SUP, I have to take the book of the shit they wrote. SUP, the shit they wrote, what's up? I'm thinking to myself, why we go to my rabbi and tell him what's up, what kind of talk? This is guttural talk. This is talk of the street. This is talk of the schoolyard. But unfortunately, the youth has no, not that they're malicious looking to this room. They don't even know the simple common decency. This is not the way you talk to a teacher, or to a rabbi, or to somebody. This is part of the chutzpah. That's why the word chutzpah stands for chutzpah. Anything comes out of the mouth today. Chutzpah, stuff that's supposed to say tuchpah is now chutzpah. It's coming out of the mouth. And this is what we're seeing. And the texting is part of it. I've said the Jewish people always were prided that we have Lashon Kodesh. Our language is a refined language. Ata b'chatanu mikol ha'amim v'romimanu mikol lashon. We have an elevated language. But today we don't use Kol Yaakov. Everybody's texting today with their hands. I said today we have fulfilled Hayadayim Yedei Esav. The hands are texting. This is Hayadayim Yedei Esav. There's no more Kol Yaakov. This is chutzpah. When the Jewish people were in Egypt, Moshe Rabbeinu, he wanted to know what did the Jewish people do to deserve this punishment? Why should they be in a servitude for 2 centuries? What avon? The Jewish people are good people. He did not understand why they deserve it. And one morning, Moshe Rabbeinu said, Achem, yes, behold, nodah davar, I know why now. Moshe Rabbeinu said, yeah, they deserve it. What happened? He killed the Egyptian, which was a great thing. And then the next day he came to break up a fight amongst 2 Jews. And one of the Jews tells him, you're going to kill me like you killed the Egyptian yesterday? So Moshe Rabbeinu understood that he wasn't just telling him that I know you killed the Egyptian. He was telling him, by the way, I went to the authorities already and I told the government that you killed the Egyptian. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, what? These people are a bunch of informers? Audacity, what kind of chutzpah? I came to save you. I came to help you. And that's the way you reward me? You call the government on me, now I have to become a fugitive and run away? Now I understand. If they can't keep secrets, if they're revealing each other's private information, then now I understand what's going on. That brings galut. You would say today, well, Baruch Hashem, at least we don't have that level. Although our community went through one of its most difficult periods as a community a few years ago, when the Gilgul of that fellow from the Zion was in our midst. And as a result of his dirty mouth and his loose mouth, today the rabbis of our community are sitting in prison. We're sitting here talking to their Torah, they're sitting in jail because of this. Somebody that can go vilify the chief rabbi of a community? Who heard this? Who heard this since the time of the creation of Adam Rishon? Somebody could come be Moshe, a 90-year-old chief rabbi. You ever heard this from the creation of Adam Rishon? This is not the epitome of chutzpah. Shomu shamayim azor. But most people, Baruch Hashem, are not informers. We know that. But still, it's a sign of the times. Achenu da'adava. Then we wonder, where's Mashiach? But I'll tell you another type of informants that are around our midst. A few months ago, I was in Los Angeles. I was going from the hotel to the store. And buying stuff at Mot Shabbat. Well, my phone rings. I look at the phone, I see a picture of me carrying food. I didn't understand what you mean. I didn't take a picture of myself. I didn't take a picture of myself and send it to myself. What is this over here? Then on the bottom, it says, you have been spotted. Spotted? I know where I am. What do you mean spotted? I know where I am. You have to spot me. I know what I'm doing. Okay, I thought it's a little invasive. What purpose? The person to take a picture of me and then send it to me? Stop to say, I saw you. You see, today everybody became an amateur photographer. Everybody became a news reporter. Everybody thinks they have to report everything that they see. That didn't bother me as much as if you look on the top, that this picture, which is an innocent picture, no, I'm embarrassed of it. I think it's a good picture. Everybody should see how you're supposed to wear Shabbat. He sent it to his group of 47 people. So now, Rabbi, how's LA? What's in the bag? What's the weather? Where are you coming? In JF, and Nayeh, Ajazawata. What happened over here? What happened? Chutzpah. You take a picture of somebody, just because somebody's walking into the shoot, that allows you to photograph and not send the picture to your group and not comment on it and put it on a blog. Now, this case was an innocent case. But today, unfortunately, if a person's scratching his head the wrong way up, they caught him. They put him on the internet. Look at the guy, we caught him scratching his head. The poor guy scratching his head. What a avon! What chutzpah! What chutzpah! This is the brazenness. Imagine if somebody comes along and opens your mail. You can't believe you opened the mail. It says my name on it. I opened it. Okay, but I hope you didn't read it. I read it also. You read my mail. Chutzpah, federal crime. How do you read my mail? Get shown when somebody opens up somebody's mail. This is hidden. But today, everybody became open mail. We open it, we show it to others, revealing them, catching people unknown to them that they're being videoed, and so on. This is the epitome of chutzpah, but this is our generation. No derech. That's exactly the point. That's what the Mishnah meant. Chutzpah yasgeh. It's all around us. But the secret that I uncovered is where did it start from? So everybody, oh, it's the TV, it's Hollywood. The Arizal says, no, it's nothing to do with that. The Arizal explains this Mashiach in a novel way. He says at the end of time, before Mashiach comes, we'll put it this way. The day that Mashiach comes, the Gemara tells us the order of the day. It gives us the schedule. It tells us exactly what we're in the first hour, the second hour, the 9 o'clock breakfast, 10 o'clock, so on. One of the early things that we're going to do early on is to kill the Yetzer Hara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take the Yetzer Hara b'shochato, and he makes shechita. Bila amavet hanetzach. It's a great thing. Rabbi Eli writes that as the time of the demise of the Yetzer Hara gets closer, he senses it. He feels that the noose is getting tighter. And just like an enemy that's fighting, when he realizes that his back is against the wall, so he starts to do brazen things that he would never do under a normal war or circumstance, but when he sees he has no more choice. For example, when they talk about in Syria that the Assad will use chemical weapons, of course it's possible. You put a person against the wall and he sees that his regime is going to topple, so he'll do things that are unprecedented. In this case, it's not unprecedented. But the point is, things that you would not normally do, things that are taboo, things that are off limits, but when a person knows the end is coming, he'll do anything. So he said at the end of time, the Yetzer Hara, knowing that his time is short, is going to start to come out in such a brazen way and start to bring things down to this world, averot that we never saw before. The world is going to become so corrupted. As an example.
So now you're giving an excuse to those people?
No, absolutely not. That's why I want you to stay to the end of the class. Please give me the benefit of the doubt. I will never give them an excuse. On the contrary, I spent most of the time criticizing them. But now I want you to understand who's the biggest me'utzaf out of them all. The biggest me'utzaf is the Yetzer. Today, look at the avirot that he's bringing to the world. The shamelessness of the Yetzer. Normally the Yetzer said, listen, I have the territory where there's avirot, and you have the Kedusha. You want to come to my section, you're welcome. He actually had a magnet also to try to draw the people to his section, and a rope to try to lasso them in. Now the Yetzer says, you don't have to go, I'm going to come to you. You stay where you are in the Kedusha, I'm going to come to you now. Never happened. Usually the Yetzer Hara was always, person wanted to make an Avirah, it took him 5 hours to make an Avirah. He had to get on a bus, he had to go somewhere. Today, boom, quick, boom, he's in already, the Yetzer Hara is in his house. Yetzer Hara in the bed, anywhere you go, the Yetzer Hara is brazen. You came here, this is our house. I'm in your house now. Who asked you to come in here, invading me? Me'usaf, chutzpah yeskeh. The shamelessness of the Yetzer, whether it's an addiction to drugs today, there's so much rampant. It was always drugs, we don't say no. Many years ago, there was a drug called marijuana. If somebody got caught with marijuana, this was the biggest crime. They put him in the jail. Today it's legal. They're ready to give up. This is mutar. Mutarim lachem. Because compared to the other stuff, what a brazen is. They got such a level they have to legalize avonot. Averot, they usually were in a closet somewhere. Now there's no more closets. No, everybody's proud to be an avariyat. Everybody's proud to be an abomination. This is, the Yetzer is coming now full force. That's what he says, Rabbi Eli. Chutzpah yeskeh, the biggest me'utzaf is the Yetzer. Now wait. Therefore, there's tremendous amount of chutzpah in the air. It originated from the Yetzer Hara. That's the midah of this generation. Because the Yetzer now is coming in an all-out audacious attack without any busha, things that are unimaginable. The temptations that he's presenting to the people, where the rabbis have to get together. We don't know what to do with this guy anymore. We don't know what to do with him. Even the biggest rabbis, the Gedolim, they're scratching their heads. What do we do? But they can't figure it out. They never were confronted with such a blatant, shameless yetzer. Oh, that's why we're seeing today people chutzpah. We're not justifying it, but it's in the air. Just like every generation has their tests. In the times of the 1800s in Europe, enlightenment was in the air. Philosophy, going to academia and becoming reform, that was there. That was the Yetzer Hara. So therefore the people had to fight that Yetzer. It doesn't make them right, but that was their challenge. So the challenge of this generation is chutzpah, because chutzpah is scared. Now the question is, so what do we do? So you say, oh, you have to get rid of the chutzpah. You can't get rid of the chutzpah. That's like saying, you know, we found out there's a lot of carbon dioxide in the environment. We got to get rid of it. We can't get rid of it. It's all over the place to get rid of it. We have to figure out now how to use it for good. That's what David Tzadok writes. David Tzadok, Kohen Tzidkat Tzadik says, I have a quote over here, I'll read it for you when I'm done. B'mor HaMashiach יהיה צורך בהרבה חוצפה וקדושה. He introduces a phenomenal concept. You ever hear when the rabbis tell you have to take the bad and channel it to the good? To get rid of chutzpah and brazenness, you cannot. It's all over the place. The Yetzer Hara now is pumping it into the world. So the Tzadok HaKohen says, you have to take it and use it for the good things. Use it for the good things. Chutzpah Kedusha, all words with Azut Kedusha. The Baal Shem Tov talked about this. Azut Kedusha. I'll give you an example just so you have an understanding. The interpretation of the Talmud Babli into English is one of the most boldest acts in the past 3,000 years. The Talmud is in Aramaic. It was limited to scholars and people that are fluent in the Aramaic language. It was really a book that wasn't accessible to every single person because it's too difficult to break the language. It's too difficult to break its style. And all of a sudden, a group of people come along with great effort, and they accept upon it, we're going to translate this, and it's impossible. It's too big of a project. And look what they did. With great chutzpah, the kedusha, they came to the Yetzer Hara now. Now the whole world can read it. Wow, I'm shocked. You have to fight chutzpah with chutzpah. And then, after they finish Shas, in the last round, we're going to bring 90,000 people together. What are you crazy? Who does such things? When did we ever hear such a thing since Har Sinai? It's audacity to think you can bring 90,000 Jews in one building and saying Shema Yisrael on top of their lungs. And they did it. You see, today we have to use the courage and the confidence to promote the Barim Shebekidusha. And Baruch Hashem, we're seeing this azut of Kiddusha all over the place. If you open up our Shulchan Aruch, it's our law book, on page 1, the first halakha in Shulchan Aruch says, "V'lo yiboshu min hamarigim." You should not be afraid from those that make fun of you. If somebody wants to serve God and they start laughing and they start mocking, that's when you need azut of Kiddusha. Let them laugh. Today we're seeing incredible things. Women all of a sudden are waking up, boom, they want to be modest, they want to cover, they want to... Also, they look at what happened to you. You fell on your head? What happened to you? Somebody hypnotized you? Let them laugh, let them make fun. You need to have azut, Kedusha. When the Baal Shem Tov started Hasidut, the Hasidut movement, he went against the whole world. He said we have to dress a certain way, we have to do... He fought everybody. They laughed at him. Look at today, Baruch Hashem, as the results of it. When ladies like yourselves rob an hour of your time and come to shiur religiously like you do, in this case on Thursday, but it doesn't mean this class, it can be any class. This is not Azut Kedusha, where everybody else is in the street gallivanting, and everybody else is going and doing their things. And over here, what are you doing? Oh, we're going to shiur. Shiur? You graduated already. You went to school already. This is somebody says, you have to go? I have to go. So what are you going for? They give you something, they don't give us anything. You have to sit and listen to the guy for an hour sometimes. And you're going willingly? Azut Kedusha. We want to broaden our horizons. We want to understand Hashem's word. Even though everybody else is running away from Muhammad the Torah, and you ladies are protesting. Somebody asked, who was the first Jew? So the rabbi answered, Abraham. They asked him, who was the first Protestant? He said, Abraham. Abraham. He said, what is a Protestant? Protestant means somebody who protests. He said, Abraham was a Protestant. Everybody was doing one thing. Abraham said, they're all wrong. He didn't come along and say, well, they're all worshiping Avodah. He had such azut d'kedusha, he had such brazenness for Hashem, that he let the whole world go and do their thing, and he fought the other way. Eventually, he brought everybody to his side. But this is the greatness, and we're the children of Abraham Avinu, all Protestants in that sense. We have to use the midah for the positive. That's why it says in Pirkei Avot, there's two Mishnayot. One Mishnah says, Az panim leGehinam. Anybody that has boldness, Gehinam is that place where he ends up. Chutzpah ends up in Gehinam. Az panim leGehinam. And then there's another rabbi called Yehuda ben Tema. Yehuda, we say it every morning in the prayers. Yehuda ben Tema Omer, Yehuda ben Tema says, Ve'az kadamer, you should be bold like a leopard. You just told me Az panim leGehinam. Now you told me to be, we only go to Gehinam and Yehuda. What does it mean? Explanation is, it depends. When it comes to regular azut, aspanim, when it comes to speaking derogatory to your rabbi, aspanim leGehinam. When it comes to talking against your parents, aspanim leGehinam. When it comes to brazen acts of committing sins in public without any shame, aspanim leGehinam, of course. But there is, when it comes to serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you shouldn't be afraid of anybody. You shouldn't be afraid of anybody that's going to try to laugh at you and mock you. And when it comes to making projects, make big projects for Am Yisrael. You have to make the Kiddusha now in a big way. You have to build yeshivot, and you have to build Batei Knesiyot, and you have to do things in a grand way. Wow, what is he building? Azut Kiddusha. What, the answer is not building movie theaters in big ways? They're building hotels in Las Vegas for millions and millions of dollars. The Azut, they're building hotels in Dubai and all over the world. Each hotel is more expensive than the next, with all the lusts and the pleasures of this world. And then somebody comes to build yeshiva, what are they spending all this money for? What are they talking about? The answer is spending all this money on the street. We have to fight Azut Kedusha. We need to have big buildings for the children to study Torah. And the people to come and worship. And the ladies have places to go to mikveh. This is the generation who have to cut back now on these things. The Yitzhak didn't stop building. He's doing all his work. He's spending more money on his. This is the time person say, we should limit our Kedusha. On the contrary, says themselves. בימות המשיח יהיה צורך בהרבה חוצפה ועזות לקדושה להישאר יהודי. Otherwise you won't be able to remain Jewish, he said. So you cannot fight it, you have to channel it, you have to take it. This explains what happened. If you see a generation that has a lot of chutzpah, you know you're almost at the end. But we mustn't fall to the chutzpah of the Sifra HaTorah. The Shem Shakai, like we say in the Pasuk, Ve'el Shaddai yeh be'azrenu. The great God of Kel Shakai should be at our aid. That restrictive force that God sends down to the world, that the Yitzhak will not take us out of our world. And then Be'azat Hashem, our destiny will be where Rabbi Yehuda said. And at the end of that Mishnah he said, Yiratzon v'lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'le'avotenu shetivnei beit hamikdash v'tirchalkenu b'toratach la'asot chokei sonach odecha b'levav shalem. He made a prayer at the end of that Mishnah. And he said, may we will the will of God shetivnei beit hamikdash. Once the Beit HaMikdash will be killed, then the Aspar in the Gam will be killed. Then God will kill the Yetzer Hara. Then there will only be Azut Kedusha. But in the interim, V'ter Hakem V'toratach. God, you should place our share of Azut in Torah. At least let us channel the Azut that you're giving us in the world today. V'ter Hakem V'toratach. That we should use the Azut, the Asot L'Surcha, to do your will. And to serve you with a complete heart.